Hello, Bonus. It's me, Bonus, but my friends call me Bonus. That's what the B in BH Ultra actually stands for. Bonus, if you can believe it. Believe is also a B. I get to finally wear green today because I'm actually not in front of a green screen this time. If you look really closely, you could see the tapestry of that one tweet that says, if Ichi was real, me and my friends would beat him to death with hammers. And it's covered up by all my plushes. Well, welcome to the Bonus channel. This is where I talk about bonus topics that I don't think could be their own video, but are somehow tangentially, at the very least, tied to video topics I've already covered before. And today, covering physical media. Because I have, I don't even know if you can see it over there. You will see it. A CRT TV and a VCR that I watch VHS tapes on that I love bragging about all the time because there are very specific things I get obsessed over, like hobbies that aren't traditional. And I will say, of all the things I collect, whether it be video games or toys or playing cards or plushes, the most cumbersome thing I collect is CRTs. I have so many CRTs just burning a hole, literally and figuratively, in my garage because if I see a CRT lying on the side of the road, I'm like, well, I gotta give it a good home. I've got a serious problem. I have emotional attachments to this hardware. Everyone experiences their nostalgia differently. Some people watch YouTube videos of people talking about shows they watched. Maybe they talk to their friends like, hey, do you remember when we used to watch this show? Sometimes you want to keep a distance away from this, and you have very hazy memories that you either want to solve and get to the bottom to, or you want to keep them as those memories and you don't want to meddle with them, because maybe it's not as good as you remember. Ever since I was a teenager, got really obsessed with archiving old television rips, and that might actually be the only video on the Bonus channel right now. I'm Bonus, by the way. The Stars Days bumpers, because I like that specific era of television, finding television rips from it, or just like archive television rips. So that's why I've been getting into the tape trading scene a couple of years back, and mostly like bidding things on YouTube. And they are legitimate physical tape recordings of those television broadcasts, of Adult Swim, of Cartoon Network, of Nickelodeon, of the Disney Channel. And I have a ton, but there's a number, and by a number I mean 3, technically 4, that I want to cover today because they are tied to 4 separate videos. I believe the Mastermind already covered this when he was announcing the Bonus channel, but I'm not supposed to know about that yet. That there are, every video on the main BH Ultra channel, you're destined to get things wrong every now and then, right? I don't think there's a single video that doesn't get at least one thing wrong, and that's just the nature of doing business. I'm not purposefully spreading misinformation, just I like to keep the videos a surprise before they go up, so I don't really peer review or ask any questions because I don't want the people around me to know what the video is going to be, because I think it's a lot more fun when the video goes up, that it's a surprise, like, oh, I didn't even know you were talking about this. The downside of that is sometimes you get information that could have benefited in the video after the video goes up, and because there aren't annotations anymore, I cannot correct myself. I've been watching through these tapes because honestly I haven't actually seen through all of them in my tape archive. I did it for a stream once and it got taken down off YouTube. Go figure. It's on Patreon, so think about that. And I've been using these sticky notes and cross-referencing schedules to allow myself to understand when these are from. So this is from Nickelodeon, July 11th and July 12th, 2008. This tape actually opens with a Family Guy ending credits before transitioning into an episode of Drake and Josh. An episode of Drake and Josh with the character Clayton, who, while I was watching this tape, I was saying, I believe to the chat or the people around me, I'm like, man, do you remember that one random throwaway character from Drake and Josh who just went, oh God. And he shows up in this episode, and I'm pretty sure he's only in this one episode, so that was really fortuitous. There was a commercial for Space Chimps, the movie, and then, like, a couple minutes later, an ad for Space Chimps, the game. So it was a very big month, July 2008, for Space Chimps. I have never seen that movie. Maybe I'm locking myself in, and I have to see it now, but I really hope not. And then there were bumpers. The only reason I found out what specific days this tape was, because that's kind of the fun for me, is getting these blank tapes, watching them, because I know they're Nickelodeon, I know they're Disney Channel, I know they're Cartoon Network, but watching the commercials and saying, like, okay, wait, so this episode of this thing aired this day. If we see the episode on screen, that means it was this day. It's actually really fun. I know it's a very specific hobby, but I'm glad I could share it with you guys because I genuinely love doing this. I love cross-referencing schedules to figure out when these tapes are set, because when I buy them, it doesn't tell me the exact date. Even before I made the videos, my entire placement on YouTube, I'm trying to spread out, of course, with the Bonus channel and the Turbo channel, are my videos comments on Smash Bros videos, and then occasionally if you go to like maybe a Cartoon Network rip from 2008 and go in the comments, you might see BH Ultra there, because there was a year or so where I got really into going to these videos, figuring out when they were set, and then commenting them, and then the people who post the videos like, how did you know this? And it's not like exclusive information that I have. These schedules are out there. They're on wikis. You can just go check them. The issue with trusting wikis, I don't want to hold up any illusion that I'm like a master researcher, because sometimes I do a lot of research and sometimes I don't do enough. But for some videos when I'm just like, this video's for fun and entertainment, I don't need to know everything about it, sometimes you just look at a Wikipedia article. When teachers back in the day would tell you to not trust Wikipedia, I always like turn up my nose like, what's wrong with Wikipedia? But now I understand. For the H2O Just Add Water video, the Wikipedia article listing all the episodes did not give US air dates for season 2 onwards, even though it gave US air dates for the first season. And I cross-referenced these and made a chart of my own in, I always want to say Excel, but it's Google Sheets, even though Excel is a much better name. I just like Google's free, so. And I did prove the dates of every episode in season 1 with a few missing. I assumed this meant that those episodes never aired in the West. And I say that over and over in the H2O video. Oh, these episodes never aired in the US. These episodes never aired in the West. I'm talking over myself. So the most popular comment I get on that video is people being like, wait a minute, but I remember seeing this episode. Did I watch this online? So I think I accidentally gaslit a ton of people because I was wrong. I will admit I was super wrong. If I just asked like a couple people that had watched the show, because I wanted to surprise people, I would have known that no, season 2 and 3 did actually air in the US. And the funny thing is, I watched this tape for the first time the whole way through, maybe like a couple weeks after that video went up. And within this tape on the TV, you can see, but there's a commercial for 5 new H2O episodes over 1 week, all airing back to back. And it shows footage from season 2, because the episode that aired right before is the 2-part finale, or 3-part finale rather, for the first season. So not only was I wrong due to other people's memories, I was wrong, and I proved that I was wrong with my own physical media. On this tape, this tape proves that H2O Season 2 did air on Nickelodeon. It just aired as a part of Teen Nick. That wasn't its own channel yet. There's also, if we want to talk about lost media, ooh, you could see it's getting darker. The shadow is... I'm filming these in winter, and it's 4 p.m. right now, so it's pitch black. Also in the commercial, they say that in between episode breaks that they're going to show behind-the-scenes clips. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I haven't looked hard enough, but I haven't been able to find these behind-the-scenes clips anywhere. So that's the first tape. I just wanted to say that I was wrong about H2O, and provably so. It is on this physical tape. This other tape doesn't really prove me wrong on anything, but you could see all of the dates on here. It's a lot of different Cartoon Network dates, because these are all total drama episodes, and this is another tape that if I just watched... I've had this for years. I held off on watching it for so long. It opens with Har Har Thursdays, which is really cool because I like being able to see Har Har Thursdays. I've talked about it a lot. I've talked about the news era in general before airing a new episode of Chowder, The Apprentice Games, and then the static cuts in, which means that every time the static cuts, it's kind of like FNAF, I guess. It cuts to a different day. And this second day, July 16th, 2009, starting at 9 p.m. Again, I wrote this note. It shows the last couple minutes, maybe a minute, of the Total Drama Action Aftermath episode. By the way, the final lines of this episode are spoken by Izzy. So, you know, I'm tying in as many videos as possible. July 16th, 2009, I'm like, that sounds familiar. What is that? I have footage, not of the episode, but on this tape, which is really cool to have, at least for me in my like lore tied to my own channel. July 16th, 2009 is the night the first episode of Stoked aired in the US, and it aired right after the Total Drama Action episode. So if the section of this tape that is July 16th ran like a minute longer, I would have seen Stoked airing for the first time on Cartoon Network. And I talked about where I was on that specific day on that memory, and I could have used this footage in the video, but again, I had not watched the tape. So I technically have a piece of Stoked history here on top of a piece of H2O history. This might not matter to anyone, but that's why I make the bonus channel. These are cool to me. Speaking of tapes that maybe would have helped me if I watched them sooner, this is not an archive. This is, however, a tape I picked up at a convention that is one of these mailing list tapes that they would send to people of all the new Nintendo games coming out, mostly N64 games. It includes trailers for new N64 games and people talking about them, and also cheat codes for already existing N64 games. And when I say cheat codes, I mean just like tips and tricks, because that's what whenever you look up cheats for a game, sometimes they're just going to tell you, you should beat the boss. It's like, yeah, thanks, man. Most of this is revolved around Jet Force Gemini, which is a game I don't hold a lot of reverence for, even though I love the N64. I don't want to fuck up my camera angle here, but if you could just, like, those are all my video games. Those are mostly my N64 games. This is my room, by the way. I'm sitting in my beanbag chair. They mentioned beanbag. They say specifically in this tape, like, oh, you're just a gamer sitting back in your beanbag chair right now. And I was sitting in this chair while watching the tape. I felt personally called out and attacked. But the trailers and the footage they use for Jet Force Gemini, even the perfectly curated footage they use in this tape is lagging in the game. And I own Jet Force Gemini. I've played it on the N64. I do not like it at all. It is not nearly as good as any of the other Rareware games. I think it's a nostalgia thing. There's a lot of nostalgia blindness when it comes to N64 games. I don't really love Ocarina. Who said that? Not only does it feature laggy game footage of Jet Force Gemini, but also while I was watching this, I had a look of shock and awe on my face. Because the main host guy, like, points over and he's like, okay, we've shown you enough about video games. Now get ready. This is the first footage of the coming soon Donkey Kong Country animated TV show. And I thought, oh no, I'm familiar with the Donkey Kong Country animated TV show. But kids got to learn about that show for the first time on Hot News 64. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because there are these Ask Dan sequences in the show where it cuts over to this bald, blurry man. I don't think they blurred out his face. I think he may just look like that. Where he gives them advice on games like Ocarina of Time or maybe Donkey Kong 64, I think. I don't know if that was out quite yet. I don't remember what the second one was. But it was like tips and tricks. I'm like, oh, this is how you beat this. If you're really stuck on this part of this N64 game, this is how you can get over it. And then the third tip in this tape are all of the cheat codes you could ever need for Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for the N64. So again, I watched these tapes back to back, and I kept having the same realization, like, man, if I just watched these tapes a year prior, I could have had more to say about Stoked, more to say about H2O, more to say about Episode 1 Racer, because I played the pod race game for too long. Let's be honest, all right? The video's been out long enough. That section is too long. And then I made a community post like, hey, I'm working on this horror video. I didn't say what it was yet, but like, hey, I'm working on this video that has a lot of gameplay sections. What is the sweet spot? What time should I cut it down to? And everyone who commented on that community post was like, no, don't cut it down at all. We love the pod race section. And then the video comes out, and everyone's like, this FNAF section is too long. It's like, yeah, man, I know. I asked about this. And those are all the tapes, but there are, when I'm collecting physical media for a video, sometimes there are things that kind of fall through the cracks. And I don't know if you remember this, if we are going all the way back to summer of last year, but is it on? This classic... Okay, stop. Stop. Stop! This classic Indiana Jones whip that I talked about a lot in the year Indiana Jones got popular. I bought this thing with the case, like actually in its packaging. I ripped it open anyway because I see no reason to keep toys in their packaging. Like if I want Max Rebo, I want Max Rebo. Even though I have toys in their packaging up there. I still have the Jar Jar Comtech figure, but I feel like I've already shown enough Comtech stuff. This bonus channel is really just like side content that didn't make it into the main video. This is the deluxe package, the director's cut. Speaking of stuff cut for time, this whip came with a promotional DVD, and I forgot to put that in the video, and I didn't watch the DVD, and for so long I'm like, oh my god, this might have like an instructional video on how to use the whip, but then I watched the promotional DVD, and it just called like The Adventures of Indiana Jones, and it really is just like a 7-minute best moments, funny moments, cringe compilation of Indiana Jones being cool, although I do believe that probably proves the thesis of the video is like this marketing team really wanted to get kids behind Indiana Jones, because I can't imagine kids in the 2000s really cared, gearing up for the release of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I have since seen, I don't even remember what it's called, The Dial of Destiny. It was whatever. I forgot about it almost immediately after I saw it, but I didn't hate it. And by the time you're seeing this, no, you're seeing this in November. By the time you've already seen this video, I might begin playing the Indiana Jones and the, what's it called, the Great Circle. I've just been calling it the Funny Circle as a joke and a portmanteau of how bad that title is, the Great Circle. And now in my brain, I just register it as the Funny Circle every time. Anyway, I would love to talk about the Indiana Jones Best Moments compilation, but not only do I think it'll get copyright striked, I also don't care. It doesn't add anything to discussion. I just want you to know that there was a promotional DVD that came with this whip, and I did watch it. It just doesn't add anything to this bonus video. I did want to do side channel stuff. It's mostly going to be towards the Turbo channel with gaming highlights and gaming videos, and that's going to be the gaming channel. This bonus one is for side stuff. There are at least 5 or 6 other bonus topics I want to cover of stuff that was kind of either a little bit brought up in videos that I didn't expound on, or extra additional information I found after the videos came out that I wanted to add as a little asterisk. So this will be a companion piece to Indiana Jones, to Star Wars Phantom Menace, to H2O, and to Stoked. Just know that if you are watching this video, I imagine a very small percentage of the people that normally watch the Ultra videos are watching this. This is just important stuff I wanted to tack on at the end. I'm going to keep talking until this camera goes to 21 minutes because it stops going at 21 minutes. This happened in the makeup video as well. I think I talked too much too fast. If these are going to be bonus videos, I got to slow down, but this is going to be the bonus look. Hi, I'm Bonus. Make sure to do classic fan art of your favorite character bonus. Now you know what the B in BH stands for. It stands for bonus. Welcome to Bonus Ultra. Ultra? Yeah. Well, I had a video planned for November, but quite honestly, if the bonus is a look behind the scenes, I spent way too much time researching and filming and editing and tweaking the viral spread of horror games video. And that video was really big. I don't want to toot my own horn. I think I probably deserve a break in November. The thing is, I took a break last November as well because I didn't finish the Smash video. I don't want to make this a tradition, but I do think moving forward, by the way, if you're always asking, like, why didn't I get notified of the latest video? I'm going to let you know this right now. This is the exception. Basically, the final day of every month, there will be a Natter Chamber video. That being said, I think moving forward, I'm going to do one less month every year. So if you're ever wondering, like, why I haven't seen his videos in a long time, or you just forget I exist, hitting the bell helps. I'm going to run out of time here, but next year there might be, like, one less video. There might be 10 instead of 11 instead of 12. We shall see. Thank you for joining me. I am Bonus. Hello, Bonus. The B stands for bonus, and guess what else it stands for? I'm going to wait for my camera to die. Happy bonus!